Man, the Montreal Canadiens just traded away a goalie, and now they have the same problem. Today we're talking about the Habs and their goaltending issues, how there are too many guys for fewer spots, and how this might result in an uncomfortable decision to be made at the helm of Kent Hughes. Now, spoiler alert, I'm recording this audio the night of Tuesday, October 3rd. It's actually a little bit past midnight, so it's October 4th. This video will be uploaded about 10 hours from now, so if there's a trade or a wave or something like that that changes the trajectory of how this video comes out, then okay, my apologies, I cannot control the sands of time. We're talking about the Canadiens and their goaltending from the perspective of how things were last night. And to help us out, we're going over onto a TSN TV hit wherein Darren Dreger and James Duthie go out there and talk about the Habs. Now, the video is going to be linked in the description if you want to listen to this. Insider trading, Habs top picks have impressed. There is a conversation about Juraj Slafkovsky. There's a talk about David Reinbacher too. Pretty good stuff over there from the Canadiens' young core that is talked about on TSN. But of course, they also talk about the goaltending situation. And to help us out with what exactly it is that Dreger and Duthie say, we're going over onto an article on NHLRumours.com. The reason I like this piece is because they literally just transcribed what it was that the two analysts said on TV. This is what James Duthie said on the program. There's a similar situation in Montreal with Montembeault, Jake Allen, and Cayden Primeau. They cannot send Cayden Primeau down without having to put him on waivers. So, how do they handle that trio? Dreger says this, that it's similarly tricky for the Canadiens. Who's the defined starter in Montreal? I guess that's to be determined. But you're right that Cayden Primeau does have to clear. And no different than Joseph Woll of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the belief is that Cayden Primeau is not going to clear if he gets sent down. So, Kent Hughes, the GM, will have to continue conversations on that. They moved a goalie to the Vancouver Canucks as part of the Pearson trade. The Canadiens at this stage don't have a problem carrying three goalies, but history also shows us that it's an imperfect scenario for all three guys, so there will have to be decisions made on that. You also had yourselves an entire audio hit on, what is this, BPM Sports Talk Radio, where Renaud Lavoie pretty much brought up the same thing, how Cayden Primeau is in a precarious spot, and according to his sources from yesterday, what he was told is that the decision for Primeau has not yet been made. Do we really want to lose him on waivers? Now, by the time this video is uploaded, if Cayden Primeau is on waivers, then hey, you kind of know what's going on here, you know the choice that is that they made. But if by the time this video is uploaded and Cayden Primeau is not on waivers yet, you still got those gears turning in the minds of the Habs management. Hey, what's the deal here? What are we gonna do? This is because Cayden Primeau is a guy that actually showed off pretty well in the preseason, I think. Talk about the conversations going around this player the past few years. Cayden Primeau, back when he was a prospect from the Canadiens in the 7th round in 2017, he quickly impressed with the Northeastern University Huskies in the NCAA. I remember making continuous videos about Primeau and his dominance and how he was playing with a Northeastern squad that boasted the likes of a few other Canadiens prospects like Jaden Struble, Jordan Harris. I don't think they were all teammates at the same time, but they were kind of there, and Northeastern was pretty good for Canadiens prospects development and Canucks development, because, you know, Adam Gaudette, Ada McDonough. I'm a Canucks fan too, so I gotta show the love over on that side of the pond. But for the Montreal Canadiens, in the very short stint that Primeau had in 2019-20, he had a .931 save percentage in the 2 games he had played. 2.52 goals against, he went 1-1-0. At this point, everybody was believing the hype. Primeau was coming off of a great NCAA career. He had a great stint at the World Juniors too, .936 save percentage. And at the end of 2019-20, he was looking pretty good in the NHL. Where was he gonna go from here? And unfortunately, he just kind of stuck around as an 800 type goalie in the NHL and a bare 900 goalie in the AHL. You see, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, each of these years have had really similar production rates for Cayden Primeau in terms of save percentage. You take a look at his NHL stint in 2021, .849. NHL stint 2022, 868. 2023, 852. And in the AHL, he has consistently been a .909 goalie. He has had a .909 save percentage every single AHL regular season spanning back to 2020-2021. Like, how do you even do that? How do you play in 3 separate seasons and continuously be a .909 goalie? Like, I'm not saying that he's a bad player or anything. The preseason we're watching right now shows that he's not. But what the hell? That's so weird. Either way, though, Cayden Primeau has shown off pretty well in the postseason for Laval. He has been a pretty good player there. And when it comes to how he's developed up to this point, I mean, the guy is 24 years old. He just recently turned 24. He is still young enough where if you wanted to argue an NHL future does exist within this player profile, it's not all too ridiculous to believe that that's the case. He's a guy who is expiring at the end of 2025, but as we had said, this is the first time he needs waivers to be sent down. And he's been pretty alright with the regular team with the Montreal Canadiens, so what exactly is the plan here? We didn't want to see this happen with 3 guys rotating around to Smith, Montembeault, Jake Allen. Now, of course, there were extenuating circumstances because Casey DeSmith's wife was pregnant, they were still in the States, and they didn't know what they were going to do with the Montreal trade sending them over. But either way, the DeSmith situation was handled, they traded him away, they got a nice piece in Tanner Pearson back. Okay, great. But now Cayden Primeau's here too. So what exactly is the plan here? If there is some sort of a trade, I would be kind of surprised. Like, obviously, I'm not an insider, analyst, reading mind, whatever. Like, I don't know more than any of y'all who are watching this video. We're all just fans, right? We're reading the same articles, listening to the same audio hits. And from what we had gathered earlier on, there were 2 separate TVA Sports articles going over the triple threat kind of trade scenario thing back when DeSmith was a Canadian before he got traded to Vancouver. How Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeault were both told by the Canadiens that they would be sticking around. How Allen got that guarantee, the Canadiens are going to stick with him, and Montembeault, he was immediately notified after the DeSmith trade, the first one, and they told him, yeah, okay, no, just because DeSmith is here doesn't mean we're giving up on you. You're still going to be here. You're going to be our guy. Now what? Cayden Primeau is not a guy you probably want to lose out on for free. I mean, sure, if you had to twist my arm and say, okay, give us Cayden Primeau or else the world is going to end, like, okay, fine. He's a young goalie who has not proven himself yet. It's not the worst hit in the world. But at the same time, after seeing this guy develop the way he has in the NCAA, the World Juniors, and the Laval Rocket, just knowing the ups and downs he has had to get to this point in his career where now he's finally being taken seriously as a potential NHL option, for the Canadiens to send him down on waivers, this could be a chance for him to finally get that spot. I mean, I'm not going to say that Cayden Primeau is automatically already better than Montembeault or Allen, but if he got placed on waivers and he got claimed by some other team that needs a goalie, like Tampa Bay, for example, if he plays like 20 games in an NHL season next year, or he plays, let's say, 25 or maybe even 30 games, that is the stepping stone that a guy like Cayden Primeau needs after having so many years in the AHL of consistent .909 save percentage play. And it's not even that his .909 is too impressive either, it's just he's been there so long without being given too much of a big chance that now I feel like it's time, whether with the Habs or not. If they wanted to rotate 3 goalies, they could, but as all the insiders are saying, it's not really ideal. Of course, injuries are a thing, which is kind of why Cayden Primeau has been so up and down between the Canadiens and the Laval Rocket as it is, but at the end of the day, this guy has not played his entire career just to become an AHL, NHL tweener. The ultimate goal is always being a National Hockey League athlete. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canadiens and their goaltending situation? And yeah, this is a situation. By the time this video is uploaded, if Primeau is on waivers, then okay, you know the answer, you know what happened, you know how everything went down. But if he is not on waivers yet, or he gets traded or something, you know, there was a bit of a different conversation there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canadiens goaltending? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.